Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the City of Olivet Council meeting for August 12th, 2025. Can we please have roll call?
Mayor Clark,
Here.
Chairman Pro Tem Weil,
Here.
Councilmember Solomonov,
Here.
Councilmember Pashon Hellman,
Here.
Councilmember Lewis.
Here.
Okay, we'll have our communications at this time.
I have no written communications.
Thank you very much. And we'll go to the city manager's report.
All right. Good evening, everyone. Get this up on the screen. All right. Good evening. As usual, this is the first council meeting of the month, and so I'll have a brief update about the goings on at Olive Crossing. So Lot 3 is coming out of the ground, and they are working on a roof. So walls are up. They're doing roof insulation. They're doing curbs for the island and the patio. They're continuing to do site grading. They're putting in the walls between the tenant spaces. And Olivet staff has been working with the known tenants, so Paris Baguette and Brass Taps, to get their plans to staff so that staff can start their plan review so that hopefully once the shell is finished, then the tenants can get in and start their work. So progress is being made on Lot 3. Lot 5, we haven't had anything yet. I think last month I reported that the developer has told us that he has come to terms with a restaurant for the north half of Lot 5. I reached out to the developer. He doesn't have any new news, but he is expecting the interested party to come and do a site visit. He was working to schedule that as there was vacation and other schedules. But as soon as they come for a site visit, then I think that they can get that lease moving along. So hopefully we'll have some more good news about Lot 5 shortly. Lot 6, as you remember, they have until September 1st to submit plans to staff and then review by the Planning Commission. The developer has reached out to Olivet staff about the pending submittal, so they are working on it. And I think we, as of today, have no reason to believe that they do not intend to submit by that September 1st, if not earlier. So we believe we are on track for that as well. And then lots 1 and 2 are complete. That's the Aldi. Lot 4, of course, is the Clover development, which is also complete. And news around town, if you happen to be watching Channel 4 today, great day for kids came to Five Oaks, and let me move this out of the way here. Highlighted Five Oaks on Worsen. It was a great spot. If you've not seen it yet, it posted this afternoon. Kiana posted it on Facebook. You can click the QR code. It will take you to the link at KMOV. But they did a great job highlighting all the amenities at Five Oaks, and Parks and Rec staff tell us that a number of folks called Five Oaks after the spot aired this morning. So it did spark some people's interest. So it was a great opportunity for us. Running out of room. And this seems to be the perpetual comment. The council appointed a resident to the pension board earlier this spring. He works in the finance sector, and unfortunately, his employer has told him that he cannot serve on the pension board in his capacity with that company, as well as one of our pension board members is moving out of Olivet. He has about 2 more meetings with us. Pension board meets quarterly. And then he will be moving out of Olivet. So we have 2 openings on the pension board. And so we would encourage anybody who is interested. You do not have to be in the financial sector to sit on the pension board. If you're interested to fill out an application, and then we will just continue to take applications until those 2 seats are filled. But again, you do not have to be in the financial sector to sit on the pension board, and they meet quarterly. Upcoming event, this is an annual event, which is the Battle of the Badges, which is a blood drive for the American Red Cross, Team Fire versus Team Police. And it is September 4th here at Olivet City Center from 2 p.m. to 7 p.m. So we would encourage everybody who's interested and able to give blood to come out at that day, September 4th. And then once you've given blood, you can vote for Team Fire or Team Police. And tomorrow morning, the police chief and the deputy fire chief will be our guests at Coffee with the Mayor, will be the mayor's guests. So tomorrow morning at Five Oaks at 8:30, and they're going to talk about Battle of the Badges and how it got started. And there might be a guest appearance, a very young, small guest appearance tomorrow morning. So we encourage everybody to come for that. And then trivia, September 6th, celebrating 60 years of the city's Park and Rec Commission. We're doing a trivia night at Five Oaks, decades from the 1960s to the 2020s. Tables of 8, $200. Gather your friends and come on out to join us for that event. And then Turkey Trot. Registration has opened for Turkey Trot. As of this morning, we had 26 registrants. There is a discount if you register early. So we would encourage everybody to do that. You can follow the QR code to registration. As in years past, all of the donations that come from Turkey Trot are going to the Harvey Kornblum Jewish Food Pantry. And this year the need is much greater. They have lost some vital funding. And so we are running a food drive for them through the month of August. So as you came in tonight, you may have seen the Blue Barrel. There's also a Blue Barrel up at Five Oaks. So you are welcome to drop your food donations off to us. We will make sure that the food pantry receives those non-perishable food items. So we're running this food drive just for the month of August, a little bit earlier for Turkey Trot. And then the skating event that was going to happen later this month, that has been canceled. We just didn't receive the registrations that we thought we were going to, and we needed contract dates were coming up and we needed to make a decision. We needed 200 registrants to break even. We had 20. We didn't think we would get 180 walk-ins. So we had to make the hard decision, but have no fear. Parks and Rec always has fun events. Come join us for trivia and the Harvest Festival, which will be the end of October. So. And then always, if you are interested in hearing about things that are happening in Olivet, please sign up for This Week in Olivet. And then your upcoming meeting dates are on the screen. And I'm happy to answer any questions you might have.
Do we have any questions from the council? At this point, we'll be going to the city council reports. Mr. Mike Solomonov, you have anything you would like to report, sir?
Yeah, we had a pension board meeting on Thursday last week. Key takeaway, the fund is at 23,823,913, down just over 45,000 from last quarter. But the assets are keeping up with the cash flow out, meaning that more money is coming in than going out, which is always good. And what we need to see. There's some funds, 1.2 million being moved from Principal Core Plus to Baird Core Plus, mainly due to lower management fees and just better historical performance in terms of returns. So yeah, those are some of the main takeaways.
Thank you very much, sir. Councilmember Pashon Hellman,
I have nothing to report at this time.
thank you very much. And Councilmember Lewis.
PCDC met last week and it was really primary main topic was around tree preservation for new construction. So there's been open dialogue around when somebody's building a new house and is, tearing down a house and building a new one, and they tear down a lot of trees. What should be the guidelines and requirements for them to either replant trees or other types of vegetation? So they've gone through a couple iterations and simplified it a little bit. I think we're closer. It's going to take a few more sessions to get there, but then eventually that will come to the city council at that point. So we look forward to that. So good progress made on that.
Thank you very much, sir. All right, Mayor Pro Tem.
I have nothing to report at this time.
Okay, and I have nothing to report other than tomorrow we will have coffee with the mayor, and I welcome you all to attend if your time allows. Okay, so we're here at item number 5, hearing from citizens. In this portion of the agenda, where anyone present in person, virtually may address the city council regarding any topic, including those later in the agenda. Each speaker is allowed up to 3 minutes. Each speaker is allowed up to 3 minutes to address the mayor and council. Please complete a speaker's card and give it to the clerk and state your name, address for the record. Do we have anyone online? And we have no one out there eager to come up either. So what we'll do is move forward to item number 6, bill number 3048.
Bill 3048, an ordinance of the City of Olivet, Missouri, amending chapters 240 and 375, sections 240.020 and 375.010 through 375.080, adding definitions to alternative vehicles and adding operational regulations and restricted uses. Second reading.
Okay. You
Good
have the
eve-
floor, chief.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, Beth Andreski, Chief of Police, and
Good evening, Mayor and Beverly Tucker Knight, Parks and Recreation Director.
so we are back here again for the second reading. If you remember from the last reading, we kind of have been working together on this project to revamp chapters 375 and 240 of the Olivet ordinances, which deal with bicycles, alternative vehicles, and we needed to add some language, some definitions, some regulations related to electronic devices, including e-bicycles and everything kind of electronic out there on the market now. The last time the ordinance was updated was in 2008. And of course, as we have seen, there have been a lot of changes and technology changes and new fun toys out and about in the community. So again, that's just kind of a little bit of the background on it. And of course, going back to this kind of working together, the Parks has seen an increase in the electric devices, vehicles, and the police department, of course, has seen an increase in concerns in the community with the age variations and how some of these things are being driven, where they're being driven, and things like that. And of course, Parks has concerns about their property and keeping everything nice and safe for everybody in the community to use. So we'll go through this PowerPoint again. It's been a little bit updated with just some of the changes we made in both of these ordinances to focus a little bit more just on the behaviors and places versus the age regulations. And I think this is a little bit more reflective of some of the feedback that we've received as far as what the community was kind of looking for with these regulations.
Absolutely. And I would like to share that we did have conversations with one resident, Don Dixon, who was able to share his experience as a parent of an e-bike rider, and he also sells e-bikes. So that was excellent feedback. And he was pleased with the changes we've made since, in simplifying the language. And he very much is in support of the speed limits. Thinks it's a very good idea. So this evening, we want to address some of the issues you brought up last time. We have some simplified language. We think we've made things clearer and easier for everybody to understand. So I apologize, our clicker isn't working, so I'm going to ask the city manager to please move us one more forward. Okay, so this is what we're talking about tonight, as Chief Andruski shared. Chapter 240, which is the Parks Code, and Chapter 375, which is alternative vehicles. So, next slide, please. Okay, so we have refined and added definitions for these new types of vehicles, primarily alternative vehicles, electric bicycles, electric micromobility transportation devices, easier to say as an MTD. And then we also kind of refined the play vehicles that were already in there. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, so visuals are incredibly helpful. So on the right is an electric bicycle. You can see the battery pack is on the stem. It's much wider. I don't think that's actually called the stem, but I can't remember what that crossbar is called that houses the battery. On the left side is an e-bike that looks like a dirt bike. This is one of the big increases we've seen in the parks in particular, the pathways and the sidewalks and all of that. So this is a very popular bike, starting with kids around age 8 or 9, and through middle school and into high school. And then in high school, we're seeing them graduating into much more elaborate, more expensive bikes. But this is like an entry-level dirt bike, and these can go quite fast. Next slide, please. These are our electric MTDs. So an e-bike can also be called an MTV. It makes it very confusing, but what we are we're using this definition to really talk about things that are not bikes, but are also electric. So the picture shows a unicycle. There's also electric skateboards, balance boards, hoverboards. Next slide, please. So here's some more. So you've probably all seen these. We have a I can't even remember what they're called. The hoverboard? The hoverboard. Yeah, with the hoverboard. Then we have an electric skateboard, which is gaining a lot of popularity on the coasts, which we know will probably be coming to us soon as well. It seems to kind of work in from the edges. And then scooters. We're all very familiar with the scooters. We see these a lot. And these are having kind of a little resurgence as they get redesigned, and new styles and new speeds are coming out with those. Next slide. And then here's our play vehicles. So these are also getting very sophisticated. Some of the pictures, when I was searching for pictures of this, it's pretty fun. They have all sorts of, including Lamborghini. You see here Wrangler, it has identified. So high-end companies are now building these as I think probably to get those loyal buyers in at a very young age. So next slide, please. All right, and in the park rules, it's still the same of what you saw last time. We are prohibiting bicycles of any type, any wheeled vehicle, on any of our unpaved trails. So this is primarily the Sassafras Trail at Worson Park, the Cottonwood Trail at Stacy, and all of our new trails that we're working on. They are just not compatible for anything with a wheel. It's too narrow, it's too steep, it's too bumpy, and when there are pedestrians on there or dogs, you can have an incredible safety concern. And it also is very hard on the trails themselves. It really causes a lot of erosion, and it breaks down all of the work we've been doing to try and maintain those trails with all of our heavy rains. So it really is not compatible. We are saying that they are all allowed, all the classes are allowed on the paved park trails and sidewalks, provided that people stay within the 15-mile-an-hour speed limit, that they yield to pedestrians, and then they obey all city laws. And then we refer to the definitions in Chapter 375. Next slide, please. All right, I'm going to turn it over to Chief Andreski to take through the complex items that we have really tried to simplify the language as well to make it really clear and easy for people to understand.
For sure. We've tried to stay out of the weeds as much as possible on this, and it was really, again,
Good
easy to get
challenge.
into the weeds with these ordinances. So I think we've done the best we can. And again, technology is rapidly developing, so this is something we're probably going to have to keep an eye on. Basically, this ordinance would prohibit vehicles, and again, this is aside from bicycles, e-bicycles on 170, Olive, Dillman Price, and Old Bonham. Bicycles are any kind of bicycle essentially is permitted anywhere other than 170 by state law. And also, again, as with the kind of similar to the parks, as long as it's a paved area of the city, you can, ride your little electric vehicles on paved areas, sidewalks, roadways, things like that, aside from our main kind of thoroughfares that come through the city where we have higher speed limits and higher traffic. I think that was one of the concerns that came up last time is for some of like the younger kids in Olivet, wanting to peruse from maybe a friend's house to the next friend's house or out in their cul-de-sac, playing around on, hoverboard. If we prohibit those off of our city streets altogether, we're pretty much eliminating the use out of them in the city. So we didn't want to do that. We're trying to get to kind of a compromising place to keep it safe, but also allow for people to use these e-devices. Again, the 15-mile-per-hour speed limit would apply universally. And again, they are subject to motor vehicle or e-bikes and bicycles are subject to motor vehicle laws aside from registration and insurance. Go ready for the next one. The only thing that would be regulated by age, and it's not even driver's license, is Missouri state law for a class 3 e-bicycle. According to Missouri state law, you have to be 16 years of age or older to ride that class 3 bicycle. And again, operators have to follow the right-of-way regulations, and we do have a section in there that pertains to parental oversight, and all of the things that we're talking about fall into that area where there is required parental oversight regarding violations of the ordinance. The easiest one that comes to mind is, for instance, a helmet law or exceeding the speed limit. As a parent, essentially you're responsible for what you're allowing your kids to do. And then also adding the electric vehicles to that helmet requirement that we see with bicycles and e-bikes already.
Right. And these are both things that are already existing in the code. It's just adding them to it. These aren't new requirements and these aren't new laws. They're existing.
Correct. Yes. So back to kind of enforcing. So we talked about, enforcing a speed limit on sidewalks. It would be really difficult to do that for many reasons. Also, we would have, it would require that there was essentially a speed limit sign throughout the city along sidewalks. And I don't think that that's something that anybody is really interested in. We do have kind of a catch-all in the ordinance that addresses reckless behavior on any of these types of devices. So if there ever was a need for citation, something like that, or, a kid or whoever it was out in the community acting recklessly on their device of any kind, it would kind of fall under this section of have it under control at all times, and she'll use it in the manner which will in no way endanger any person or property.
Mayor, too. Thanks. I'm just curious, the ambiguity, and I don't disagree with it, but it's like reckless behavior. So they can give a citation if they think someone's either going too fast or doing wheelies or just endangering people. So it's really up to the officer's interpretation at that point.
Essentially, and I think that you kind of find that a lot of times with officer discretion, what
Sure. Okay. Unless
you
we're
know,
talking a radar gun or
how to, yes. And, that's why, we always tell people, regardless of what type of violation it is, you have your day in court, right? So I guess that
No, that's
that
fair.
would be
I
their
think-
time.
I mean,
So,
I-
but yes, I understand what you're saying. That it is a little ambiguous, but it does give us a little bit of that catch-all because as we've seen, even with some of these devices, it's almost impossible to describe every scenario.
No, and I think that makes sense, and no different than, I guess, rolling a stop sign. What is one person's stop is another, so you're right, the officers have their
Correct.
best judgment.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Absolutely. And again, as we've reiterated before, this is a complaint-driven ordinance similar to dogs on leash or barking dogs or different things like that. So it's not that the officers will be patrolling and looking for violations necessarily. They're really looking for repeated behaviors that are being reported when people are calling in. You know, we see a group of 5 individuals pretty much every day after school, riding their bikes around 25 miles an hour. And you know, when you start to see that pattern, this gives them the tools and the framework to address that.
Like say, for example, in the park, you have a 13-year-old doing reckless things like that, and it's very obvious that it's reckless. How do we address minors? Do you send the issue to the parent, or how is it addressed?
So when you get into juvenile law, it kind of depends on the age. But for us, that's why we do have that clause in there addressing parental responsibility. So say you do have a 13-year-old and there is something happening in the park and it's a minor. Ultimately we can't write minors tickets for court, and we can't write them traffic tickets unless they're 15, which that gets into a whole nother thing. But again, that's kind of where that parental clause comes into play. And, the hope is that some education pieces with, if there is law enforcement interaction with juveniles, that there is some of that education piece with parents. Ultimately we would be contacting parents and things, but it would fall on the responsibility of the parents, but we can enforce in the parks just like we would anywhere else.
Okay, thank you.
So can you just clarify if a minor is in a situation where it's reckless and let's say that, parents have been notified previously and it's like escalated to the point where a citation is necessary. My understanding as I read this is that the citation goes to the parents.
Correct. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay.
Next slide, please. Okay, so again, we want to reiterate, public education is our best tool in this, and we're really going to do a focus on that. Next slide, please. So we have already installed the no bike medallions on the hiking trails in the parks. Here's a picture of the Sassafras Trail at Warson Park. You can see the medallion down there on the bottom. So we've started that. We have already published some guidelines in the city publications. We'll be doing further ones as well as posters in the parks. This is on the right-hand side. This is our style. It's our sign master plan. I always get the terminology wrong, but this is our adopted sign wayfinding program that we use within the city when we install new signs. So signs similar to this without the directions because we don't have those budgeted, but we will be putting speed limit signs in the parks similar to this. So you'll start to see those coming in along the Greenway and along the parks. We hope to have those installed by Thanksgiving. Next slide, please. And then we are also going to start pushing out information through social media, we have a website page dedicated already. We have links to educational sites that are operated by nonprofits to help increase bicycle safety and awareness, particularly around e-bikes. It's a growing field, as you can imagine, and there's a lot of nonprofit groups that are huge proponents of e-bikes, but they want to make sure everybody understands how they operate, how to care for them, as well as how to ride them responsibly. So they have great resources for that, and we have links to those as well on our website. This is an ad that's going to be appearing in the next Olivet activity guide, the recreation guide that's going out in September. So we'll continue to push this information out. We have another city newsletter coming out in September, and we'll have an article in there and another infographic in there as well.
Wonder if any value putting it, maybe partner with the schools and all the weekly connects that come out from the schools.
It's an excellent idea because the schools are grappling with this as well.
Well, and I imagine the majority of people are probably under 18 who are doing these, not all, but you know, and so, and parents may not be aware too, so you'll get them both. I guess get a lot of, so just a thought.
Yeah. And we do know that the kids are riding these bikes to school in the different vehicles. They use them to go.
I believe going into this year, at least the Ladue School District is putting in some sort of restrictions, regulations as far as on their property grounds. I don't know if that has been completed yet or where they are with that, but I think that was on the radar to be completed because, you know, everybody's seeing this, schools, cities all over the place. So yes.
Are there any further questions that we can answer for you this evening?
Do we have any questions from the council?
I don't have any questions. I think you have done an incredible job of taking all of the feedback that was provided at the last meeting and simplifying, making it clear, making it like the regulations make sense. So I just really appreciate the work that you did to shift things around. And I am pleased with what you came up with.
Okay.
I second that. Time will tell, right, how enforceable these are.
On our next slide, we have the motion.
Okay. At this point, after those warm accolades, can I please get a motion to approve?
I'd like to make a motion to approve Bill 3048, an ordinance of the city of Olivet, Missouri, amending chapter 240, section 240.020, and amending chapter 375, section 375.010 through section 375.080.
Second?
Okay, council has given the blessing on it. Can we please poll the council?
Councilmember Lewis,
Yes.
Councilmember Pashon Hellman,
Yes.
Councilmember Solomonov,
Yes.
Chairman Pro Tem Weil,
Yes.
Mayor Clark.
Yes.
The motion is passed. Bill 3048 becomes ordinance 2819.
Okay, so now we're going to go on to Bill number 7.
Thank you very
Thank you.
much.
Yeah.
Bill number 3050, an ordinance to amend chapter 500 building regulations, being part of Title V Building and Construction of the Municipal Code of the City of Olivet, adopting a new Article 2 general provisions. First reading.
Gentlemen, you have the floor.
Good evening, Mayor, members of the council. My name's Carlos Trejo. I'm the Director of Planning and Community Development with the City of Olivet, and you're at the fire marshal.
My name's Tim Fain, the Assistant Fire Chief, City of Olivet. Good evening, everybody.
So tonight before you is Bill 3048. It's for, 3050. It's for first reading. It's part of our building regulations, which are under Title IV of our municipal code. And this is not a land use matter, so there is no public hearing. It'll have a first reading, and then we'll follow up with a second reading at the August meeting. The intent of this is to clean up some items that were omitted from our updates to our building codes back in June of 2025. We had missed a section entitled General Provisions. General provisions apply the regulations to ensure that we check back taxes, establishes the escrow receipt process, sets the hours of construction, sets our permit fee process and how that's determined, and our administrative enforcement fees and completion deposits in there. What we did back in June is when we overhauled our building codes and adopted the 2021 codes. We broke those down into chapters. It makes it a lot easier to identify amendments and know whose codes how the codes are titled and what changes are in there. It's a lot user friendly as compared to the old code where everything was just under that, and every adopted code was under a section, and you would get into these long numbers and elaborate letters and things. So we kind of simplified it. In doing so, I missed a division in there, and that was the general provisions. Not proposing any changes to those provisions. We're adopting them as is. At the same time, I'll let Mr. Fain talk about the amendments to the 2021 International Fire Code. Those are new provisions that we are adding on.
Yeah, the new provisions and the amendments that we're adding on is specifically for corridor for multifamily apartment buildings that the were left open in codes that smoke detectors weren't added in those corridors. So you can imagine the corridors down at Irvington or Olive Crossing or even the Oliver down here that run 200-300 feet long and only have one smoke detector by a smoke door. That's it. The Oliver down here was designed to have those smoke detectors every 30 feet. Olive Crossing, we had a design criteria. Basically, we had them add that into it. Irvington down here also the same way. It was designed as only at the smoke door, but it also was design criteria. Their corridors are smaller in width. The code is written as 8 feet or wider, that it has to be every 30 feet within that corridor. Well, what if you take that same corridor, that same length, and make it 6 feet wide, less than 8 feet? You still have uncovered areas 200, 300, 400 feet long that has one smoke detector in there. So when I came up with this new amendment from other departments that have it, it's something that was omitted from when we did the International Fire Code in June. So it's added into, I'd like for it to be added into the same section as the corridor smoke detectors that are 8 foot or wide or wider.
And so if you have any questions for Deputy Chief Fain or Director Trejo,
Just curious is there any that don't have it, and retroactively, if you put this in, is it going to reinforce, go back and they're going to have to make
No,
changes?
no, the buildings that currently have are retro,
They're
the
grandfathered in?
Oliver, the Olive Crossing, the Irvington, all have it implemented already.
Okay, so there's none that you think we have to go back and
No,
retro?
no.
Okay.
Does this apply? It looks like it only applies to residential buildings like that. Is there something similar that covers office buildings that might be built similarly with long hallways and?
It's under a different code set, yes. It's part of a different building, how you want to call it? The building occupancy, it's an R1, R2, R3, R4.
does the commercial code already address this?
Yeah, the code already addresses it.
Okay, okay,
Thank you.
great, thank you.
So I guess we'll be revisiting this for second reading on August 26th.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you very much, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor.
Item number 8, board.
Oh. Your microphone.
Thank you. Item number 8, board and commission appointments.
Good evening. At your last meeting, you interviewed 2 candidates, one for the Parks and Recreation Commission and the other for the Zoning Board of Adjustment. At that time, you directed staff to prepare an agenda item to nominate both of those individuals to their respective commissions. And so that is what is before you this evening. Appointing Mr. Paul Carey to the Parks and Recreation Commission with a term to end in 2027, and appointing Mr. Ronaldo Luna to the Zoning Board of Adjustment with a term expiring in 2029.
Okay. Are there any questions from the council? Okay. I will entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion. Motion to appoint Paul Carey to the Parks and Recreation Commission with a term expiring in 2027, and to appoint Ronaldo Luna to the Zoning Board of Adjustment with a term expiring in 2029.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, can we please poll the council?
Councilmember Lewis.
Yes.
Councilmember Pashon Hellman.
Yes,
Councilmember Solomonov.
Yes.
Chairman Pro Tem Weil.
Yes.
Mayor Clark.
Yes,
Motion approved.
thank you very much. Now we're going on number 9, approval to purchase 2 police vehicles.
Good evening again, Mayor, Council, Beth Andruski, Chief of Police, City of Olivet. This will be much quicker than the last one. So this is just an approval to purchase two replacement vehicles, one administrative vehicle and one patrol vehicle for our current fleet. The state contracts for patrol vehicles continue to follow the same kind of purchasing model that we've seen for the last several years. I don't anticipate that that's probably going to change anytime soon, since it hasn't over the last several years. It's basically where there's a limited number of dealerships in the United States that are listed as approved vendors, and a price quote is sent to the dealers for the style, number of vehicles requested, and that is essentially the ordering process now for state contracts. One of our vehicles would be transferred to another city department, and the other one will probably go to auction unless there is a new need for it somewhere else within the city. So this recommended action is just approval for the city manager to enter into an agreement with Bellman Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram for the purchase of two Dodge Durangos not to exceed a total of $89,000. And just a little side note, typically I would put our upfitting for the vehicles and the vehicles all in one agenda item, but we're still kind of looking at what pieces we can use from our current vehicles and transfer them over to not repurchase. And also the purchasing window is open now. So we weren't quite ready to bring those upfitting costs yet. This is just for the vehicles. So we'll be back in the future at some point when we kind of hone in and figure out exactly what equipment we're going to need to upfit these once they come in. So, but we're looking at several months away before they'll probably be ready. And that is it from me, unless you have any questions.
Do we have any questions from the council?
I do have a question.
Sure.
So the Dodge Durangos, in terms of reliability, they're not known to be at the top of the list. Are we pretty locked into these models, makes and models?
So we have, prior to the Dodge Durangos, as if you're familiar with what's kind of available on the market for police package vehicles, there aren't a lot out there. Pretty much the Charger's kind of been in and out of play for a while. So you have the Dodge Durango, the Ford Explorer, and the Tahoe, and the F-150. For us, for a while, we had the Ford Explorers and found that they were in for us, they seemed to be in the shop all of the time for long periods of time. The V8 Durango seems for us to be the most reliable for the wear and tear that patrol sees with these vehicles. I don't really have a magic answer for that though, because you'll talk to another agency and they'll say, we don't like the Durangos, we like the Explorers, or we like this. So I couldn't tell you the consistency, but for us so far, Durangos have been the most reliable for what we have available.
Okay, and it's a very specific use case, so yeah, it could be different than a day-to-day driver. So makes sense. Thanks.
Yes. Yeah, no problem.
I just had a clarification. You said that there were possibly some items, and please correct me if I'm wrong here, for the upfitting of the vehicles that you could transfer from existing and reuse in
Correct.
the new?
Yes. So anytime that we're able to transfer, unless something's just very old and needs to be replaced, if we can use, lights or different equipment, there's a ton of it in there. If we can reuse any of that stuff instead of repurchasing, we will. Of course, as models change and stuff gets worn out, things like that, we can't always do that. But whatever equipment we are able to use, we'll reuse on the next
So
vehicle.
some examples could be like the light bars, the mounts that the computers go on, the partition between the police officer and the individual sitting in the back seat. Any of those pieces of equipment that can be reused as a
Yes. So we reuse whenever possible.
Yeah. So, and then for the item that's going to auction, this is probably just me being new, is selling items at auction, is that typically what's done with a vehicle that's not going to be transferred in-house, as opposed to selling it in a way that might yield a better return?
So
Yeah.
Jennifer answer that?
So because it's a public asset, it has to be made available to the public.
Ah, okay.
And the auction is the best way to do that. And there are online auction. We use Purple Wave. There is another one whose name is escaping me, Gov Deals. And so it's open to anyone. So if you would like, or any of your neighbors would like to buy a police vehicle, we had somebody in Rock Hill who wanted to buy the old fire engine, and he did via the auction. So yes, this is how it is the best practice to do it. We also have on staff mechanic in Public Works who helps to make the determination if a vehicle is ready to be auctioned off, or if it has more life left in it and can be moved to another department and then replace one of those vehicles, which we would then auction off.
Okay.
Okay, do we have any other questions? All right, I will entertain a motion.
I'll be happy to do it. I'd like to make a motion to approve, for the approval of the city manager to enter into an agreement with Bellman Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram for the purchase of 2 Dodge Durangos not to exceed a total of 89,000.
I'll second.
Can we please poll the council?
Councilmember Lewis,
Yes.
Councilmember Pashon Hellman,
Yes.
Councilmember Solomonov,
Yes.
Chairman Pro Tem Weil,
Yes.
Mayor Clark.
Yes.
Motion is approved.
Thank you.
Okay. Item number 10, purchase approval for a 2025 Youth Soccer League uniforms.
Good evening, Mayor and council members. Beverly Tucker Knight, Parks and Recreation Director. This evening, we have before you the request to purchase soccer uniforms for this year's league. Due to the number of players we have this year, the cost to purchase them exceeds the limitations of us purchasing on our own, and that's why it requires council approval. So to purchase these uniforms, we followed the city's purchasing requirements. So we released a request for proposals. We received back 8 submissions. Of those 8 submissions, 4 fully met the criteria of the RFP. The other 4 were disqualified. Of the 4 that submitted, we have elected to go with Score Sports, and it is not the cheapest option. So I wanted to make sure you understood the criteria of how we came to that decision. So the next qualified bidder, second to Score Sports, is BSN. So BSN would save about $1.90 per uniform. However, the uniform would not be of the same quality of Score Sports and might not arrive packaged the way we need it. So one of the things that we request in the RFP is they explain to us how they'll package them. So as you can imagine, the number of uniforms coming in, it's quite an undertaking. What Score Sports does is it packages them per team so that each team receives a bundle that has their roster on it with each child's name and the size of the shirt they require. It's all bundled together. Prior to us using Score, we did this by hand with paid staff and volunteers, and it is a very arduous task. So we really appreciate the extra care they take with that. They also have a phenomenal quality shirt. So I brought some of the submissions for you to see. So this is a t-shirt that was submitted with the bid. This is a standard t-shirt. It's not a jersey. So that is how some of the companies save money, is by not using a real soccer jersey. This is the uniform we had last year from Score. So you can see this is truly a soccer uniform. It's very attractive. And what we find is when it looks like this, it gets a lot more wear out in the community. It really builds pride amongst the players, and it builds awareness about the program. And I think that is an intangible that is really important as we really try and offer a quality program and build community. So I'm happy to answer any questions you may have about this. And then if there are no questions, I ask that you would please approve it.
Do we have any questions from the council? Go ahead.
How many children do you have signed up so far?
We have over 1,100.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
We don't purchase that many uniforms because the teams that come to us as a team from a school outside the district
Mhm.
wear their own uniforms. So for example, Mirowitz Academy comes in and they have their own uniforms. MICDS, they wear their own uniforms. So we purchase the uniforms for the teams that come in from the Ladue district.
So just doing some quick math, it looks like maybe we're ordering 850.
We
Uniforms?
we are ordering about 850 uniforms as stated in the report, 755 pairs of socks. We order extra shirts because invariably there are size differences. Sometimes we do have to switch someone at the last minute on a team. You need to have those extra colors. Not to cast aspersions, but sometimes parents are unaware of how much their children have grown over the summer. So sometimes sizes need to be swapped out and we don't want anybody to be sad. Invariably, there are extra orders that have to be made. So we have this, we're requesting the amount not to exceed an amount because every year we do a secondary order. And no matter how careful we are the first time, so, things happen. Yeah.
And are the costs of these shirts or the jerseys, are they covered in the registration cost?
Absolutely. Yes.
Any other questions?
When will these jerseys come in? I know the season starts beginning of September.
Is that a coach asking?
It is.
Yeah, they'll be in before the first game.
Okay,
Yeah, we are ready to order. We have the purchase order already submitted. We just can't pull the trigger until it's approved by council.
got it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Get to make a motion.
Are there any other questions? Okay, should entertain a motion to approve.
Take a motion to authorize purchasing 2025 youth soccer uniform from Score Sports not to exceed $14,360.
Can I get a second?
Second,
All right, can we please poll the council?
Councilmember Lewis,
Yes.
Councilmember Pashon Hellman,
Yes.
Councilmember Solomonov,
yes.
Chairman Pro Tem Weil,
Yes.
Mayor Clark.
Yes.
Motion approved.
Thank
very
you.
much.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
All right, item 11, hearing from citizens, part 2. Are there any citizens who would like to speak at this time, be online or in person? Seeing none, go on to item number 12, review and acceptance of minutes. Are there any corrections to the minutes that anyone may have seen that should be addressed at this time? Okay,
I was not at the last meeting, so I didn't notice.
okay. Can we get a motion to approve the last minutes, please?
Motion to approve the council minutes from July 22nd and the work session minutes from August 5th.
Can we please poll the council? Oh, we need a second, yes.
I'll second.
Okay, now can we please poll the council?
Councilmember Lewis,
Yes.
Councilmember Pashon Hellman,
Yes.
Councilmember Solomonov,
Yes,
Chairman Pro Tem Weil,
Yes.
Mayor Clark.
Yes.
Motion is passed.
Thank you very much. All right, now at this time, we'll have our city attorney's report.
No report this evening.
Okay,
However,
so at this time, I would,
wait,
We do need a quick closed session.
okay. So I'll entertain a motion to go into closed session.
I move to go into executive closed session pursuant to the revised statutes of the state of Missouri to discuss attorney-client privilege matters to pursuant to section 610.0211.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All right, do we poll the council?
Councilmember Lewis,
Yes.
Councilmember Pashon Hellman,
Yes.
Councilmember Solomonov,
yes.
Chairman Pro Tem Weil,
Yes.
Mayor Clark.
Yes. Okay, we're going into closed session.
We'll just stay here, since Councilmember Solomonov is online, we'll stay here, we'll close the doors, staff will leave.
Okay.
It won't take long.
No, it's still recording.
Okay, we have come out of closed session. I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
Get a second.
Second?
All right, Good night, y'all.
Good night. Mike, before you sign, oh,
Yeah, yeah.
Hang on.